Hello? Oh my god. I don't know why, but it was muted. The mic was muted. Anyway, I apologize for my computer crashing. It literally takes 15 to 20 minutes to boot back up. I was talking about some other stuff, but it doesn't really matter because I was muted. Yeah. But we're gonna get back to the game in just a second here. I just got to go to Theta. Make sure everything is still good here. Looks like... Yeah, it looks like everything is still good here. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and boot the game back up if it'll let me. I hope it's saved recently. Older, newer. Yeah, I definitely want these. Wait, last modified 608. Oh, yesterday at 608. Okay. Like, that's definitely sooner than 506, but... Okay. Yeah, sorry about that, everybody. I mean, it's always a risk every time I hit that live button. I mean, it does, even when I'm not live, it could crash at any moment, but it's just something that I kind of have chosen to live with as a streamer. And sometimes it'll go a full week without crashing, and then some days it'll crash like 7 times. Don't know what causes it. Nobody's been able to figure it out. But, that's part of why I really need a new PC. Okay, game's booted back up. Hello, game? Why is it not working? Oh, please don't tell me that something when it crashed, it's not gonna... Oh, thank God. I was like, please, I can't handle more technical issues tonight. I had way too much fucking vodka. Okay. Where did it push us back? Although because it's a horror game, it probably autosaves fairly often, huh? Yeah. I collide with a body much larger than mine and fall back to the ground, head spinning as I look up at the stained glass. Turning my head to the side replaces the colorful sight with a pair of shiny black shoes. Fatigue fills every inch of my being then, making me refuse to get up. Hold on, let me make sure the actual sound is working. Okay, yeah, it's working. Meanwhile, a familiar head of ginger hair looks down at me in bemusement.
You really must look where you're going if you insist on running about. Do tell, where is the fire?
Oh, thank God you're here.
I do hope you don't have a concussion. Can you count backwards from 15 to 1 for me?
Oh, fuck off, you wanker. Just help me up.
I do not think insulting me if you do have a concussion is a smart decision. But no, really. 15 to 1.
That woman, she was here. I told you to keep an eye out for her.
The other man offers an arm and pulls me up to my feet then. But before I can storm off and pull him to the ballroom, he anchors me down with one hand on my shoulder and the other touching the back of my
No
head.
bruising or bump. That still does not mean that you don't have a concussion. If you are too lazy to count backwards, can you tell me your full name? Where are you currently?
We don't have... Lucille Mitchell Wright. And this is the Ermengarde bloody fucking foyer. But we don't have time for this.
You must make and have the time to make sure you are not broken in the head. I have already sent security to scour the whole house when I saw you running out of the parlor, Dummkopf. If the woman is here, they will have her. You will only be slowing them down if you plan to interfere.
Not wrong, not wrong. When he points that out, I realize that there are guards starting to filter to the house as we speak, with some already searching the nearby rooms. Armed and uniformed men go about in pairs, making it so that the house is in a flurry of activity. He lets go of me then, with the knowledge that I'm not going to keel over anytime soon.
I was hoping that you would be tired from dealing with the young miss on my return. Instead, you come running and hit your head. Such a troublesome boy. Shall I be carrying you to bed, too?
I can manage just fine on my own. Though I don't see how I can sleep until that woman is caught.
It'll be easier to keep you safe in your quarters. This is twice we've known the woman to break in. I think we can safely presume that you hold her interest.
He says it as a matter of fact, in a tone that broke no argument. Not like I'll argue if it means I'm kept safe. The two of us hurry upstairs, though we remain watchful and wary of any potential threats to my person. We make it to the master bedroom without any trouble, though, and two of the security are left outside the door. No problems at all. Not until we get inside. Johan's eyes scan the room wildly, a look of dread on his usually stoic face. And I don't understand for a moment. Looking around the bedroom, it's empty. But then I realize...
Where's Hana? She came home with you from the hospital, didn't she?
She's supposed to be here. I sent one of the maids to accompany her here, to let her rest.
I feel the color drain from my face when he raises a hand to stop me from charging out there.
Stay.
I'm not staying in here while Hana stays out there.
One of the guards will find her and bring her here.
And what if they don't? What if that woman gets to her first? What if she already has her?
That's not possible.
You can't promise that.
There's no second thought as I reach under my side of the bed and pull out one of my knives! I have no doubt that the other man can take me on if we're both unarmed. But with this, I can even the field, or at least deter him from escalating the situation and risking hurting either of us.
I'm going out there to look for Hana, and you're either with me or you aren't. I'm not risking Hana, and I'm not leaving her alone.
Still, like a stubborn mule, he refuses to budge from the door. There's a withering look on him that I try to match. One that somehow I'm losing fast to, even with him not saying a word yet.
Can you see yourself in the mirror right now? You are in no proper state to go looking for anyone. If it'll make you happy, I will do the looking. But please, and don't make me repeat this, stay where it's safe, where security can find you. We already have one person to be worried about. Please don't add another one to it.
Perhaps it's his tone. In spite of his general disdain for virtually everything that has to do with me, I'd like to think that over the years he's grown to care for Hana at least. Much as I loathe to admit this, I'd trust him with her safety over any servant in this house. So, and acquiesce. Everyone fucking uses that word.
You have 2 hours, Shirokin. I don't think it'll take that long to find one missing woman in this house. 2 hours. Any more than that, and I'm going out there.
Of course.
Despite his words, he lingers. If I didn't know any better, I'd say he wants to make sure I get in the damn bed and sleep before he turns away from me. What am I, a child? Watching me and treating me like one? There's the reason why we'll never get along.
What are you waiting for?
And the knife?
The knife stays.
Very well.
Only then does he seem to get the hint. With a nod, he leaves, locks and closes the door behind him. For a moment, I still hear his voice while he gives the guards outside firm instructions. Then a hush as soon as he departs and his footsteps fade away. One that doesn't quite last. As quickly as the silence settles, lingering flashes across the sky, followed immediately by the loud boom of thunder. And that wanker strikes so dangerously close that I can feel the electricity in the air. The power goes out, and not a second later, I feel as if I'm being mocked by whatever greater power there is. All is deathly still for a moment, but soon the rain starts once again. Far heavier than the light drizzle from this morning. It's pitter-patter, hitting hard against this place's roof. Despite the noise, I find myself drawn to my bed, exhausted, hoping for a little nap. I'm safe here. Hana will be safe here too. Johans will find her, and when I wake, she'll be here. It does not take long. Once my head hits the pillow, it's a matter of minutes. Darkness claims me, bringing it laughters and whispers of a twisted love from a time long ago.
Who are you? Stay away!
Sweet dreams, my love. It'll be over soon.
That's it? That's kind of lame. Yeah, in spite of the unfamiliar voices and unwanted touches from shadows lurking in the dark, rousing is a slow, arduous process. difficult, every limb with lead. No matter how my aversion for the words they murmur in my ears or the sight of her horrid smile from afar, my body refuses to yield. I'm at their mercy. Beyond fathomable reason, my consciousness refuses the pull of the waking world, choosing to linger in the pits of a dream, gradually drawing me deeper into unknown depths. Somehow, even if it might mean I may never open my eyes, I allow them.
You do not belong there, my prince.
Not that I mind getting a few extra hours, of course. The bed's more than comfortable as it is, after an exhausting day yesterday. Babysitting Kylie and the stress of finding an intruder in my own home, I think I deserve a little break every once in a while, especially after going through all that in a single day. I can only be on the receiving end so many unacceptable things within the span of a few hours, you know? As gracious a host and person I am, my patience has its limits too. Although there's still a problem with Hannah. I haven't forgotten that, of course, but that's why I hired Johannes. He's competent enough. He won't even last a day in my service if he's any lesser than those half-wits who think they can deceive me with sweet words. He's more than capable of working on his own without guidance. Let the butler take care of that little problem with Hannah while I...
You do not need her. I am here. We are here.
Who's we?
This is where your home is. Where you belong. For the blood we share. Come back to us.
How long has it been since? Johannes has never taken this long
Surely
before.
there should have been an update by now. Alright?
So why isn't there?
Please don't go.
Bloody hell, the cretins I've surrounded myself with.
And isn't that enough reason to force myself out of bed? As it's always been the case. My eyes fly open, expecting the warm rays of sunshine filtering through the curtains, only to be greeted by a blinding flash of light and a loud boom of thunder that sounded nearly too close to my ears. Strong gusts of wind will occasionally burst in from the open balcony door, bringing in drizzles of cold rain into the room. I must have left it open earlier before dozing off. The carpet and the floor closest to it is already drenched. Hannah's going to be so cross when she sees this. Not that it's an immediate problem. If anything, this power outage we should be minding first. With the intruder still at large, steering through this darkness might be far more fatal than multiple stab wounds or a gunshot to the chest.
Oh, great. The power's still out. That is exactly what I need right now. Yes.
In this storm, of course. I should have moved back to the penthouse to weather in a much more comfortable setting. Already, I can hear the creak and groans of this old place as rain beats against the windows.
Johans! Has someone been sent to take the circuit breaker yet?
No answer.
Johans?
Silence.
Stroking! Someone! Anyone?
Still nothing, and my cordial mood is quickly dissipating.
Where are those idiots when you need them?
It's really a wonder why he hasn't fixed this yet. Was I really out that long? Can't be. It's only been a few hours after midnight, if the time of my wristwatch is anything to go by. Unless I've forgotten to change it again after that last overseas trip a month ago. Though the delay is understandable if he went looking for Hannah as he promised. But bloody hell, my safety's also at stake here. Cursing, I stay still, letting my eyes try and adjust to the darkness while my hands fumble for my slippers. If that butler isn't going to fix this, I may as well order the security posted outside to do it. It's probably just a blown fuse. Anyone with a brain can repair one. Grabbing my jacket with my footwear finally on, I make for the door. Although in haste, I pause briefly when a gleam catches my eye. On one of my drawers, underneath the clutter I've yet to organize, the muzzle of a gun peeks out. Hannah has never openly commented on my possession of it, but I know she doesn't approve of it, knowing the bloody firearms policy in this nation. Of course, I've not found much use for it in the 7 years we've been together, otherwise she would have already thrown it out years ago. Doesn't mean it won't be useful right now. Without a second thought, I seize it, sending the stuff piled above it onto the floor. Whatever. I'll get to it later. This blackout problem should be resolved first. Right next to my missing security detail, as it turns
Where the
out.
fuck did everyone go?
There were two, weren't there? Johans had two blokes posted to stand guard for the night. I might be panicking for a bit earlier, but I'm quite sure I haven't gone delusional yet. What, did both of them decide to take a break? Because they think the master's already sound asleep and won't be looking for
Damn
them?
nitwits.
I know assassinations happen very rarely these days, but even less in a peaceful city like Luxburn. But bollocks! There's been a woman going in and out of this place uninvited who may or may not want to put a knife in my back. Isn't that enough reason to stay on alert? I'm fairly certain Johans wouldn't just enlist their help just for this power outage only to leave me unprotected. We have a difficult friendship, so to speak, but I doubt the man is an opportunist. I'm holding the lives of his family in my hands, after all. He knows what I'm capable of doing. He's not stupid enough to do anything that'll endanger them and save only himself. So where, then? Only my footsteps echo along the dark passage, and I'm left gripping the handle of my pistol for some sort of comfort. Without proper lighting, and with this storm still raging outside, the stories I've heard about this place seem to have some truth to it. Some. If I'm breaching and wish to entertain myself for a bit, I'll say there might be ghosts whispering in my ears, calling. Of course, it's just the wind in the trees rustling outside. Nothing good will come allowing these thoughts to linger when problems are piling up in front of me one after another, especially with what greets me once I get to the foyer. Though it's dark, the large windows illuminate the area much more easily than any of the other rooms. Okay, so we're back to the climax. And from where I stand at the top of the stairs, I can easily make out their forms, recognize them even. It's all gone crazy when these intruders come into my house. I'm no stranger to a cop playing dirty. The smart ones know that neither life nor criminals are going to play fair. And if one of this wogs sort is in on this, I'm not surprised too. But Lily, the estate agent, she doesn't seem the sort. And Daisy too? What will Kylie think of Miss Pink if the poor tyke finds out about this? Not to mention, Hannah trusted her. I trusted her to be professional at the very least, for fuck's sake. To top it all off, they have the nerve to look surprised when I announce my presence.
Well, well, what have we here? If I were any less sober, I'd say this is the beginning of a joke.
Bloody trespassers, what's wrong with these people? Did they really think I'll be fine with them walking into my home like this? What are they even doing in here? If I didn't know any better, they might also be behind Hannah's disappearance.
That's right, my love.
They must have a
Make them
motive.
pay
And it better be a good one.
for all the wrong they've done to us.
Or a bullet to the head is the least of all of them will deserve.
Let's see. A photographer, a high school teacher, a real estate agent, an interior designer walk into a mansion.
Thunder crackles once again, cutting me off. This time, its sound hits close enough that it nearly feels as if the windows and the ground itself are rumbling. All is deathly still for a moment. I don't let it stop me, however, as I slowly make my way towards them, taking one careful step at a time, relishing the expression of fear in their eyes. I suppose there's something ominous in this setting, with the heavy rain outside and the lack of light here. I kinda like it, to be honest. Adds something to the atmosphere. I suppose I must look like the villain now. But short of me getting close to them, a noise to my left distracts me briefly, halting my movements while curiosity takes over every murmur in my head. And it's a good thing, perhaps, that I did, because as soon as I look up, I see him. Another trespasser. Great. Just as he's about to jump down from furniture that has somehow ended up piled and blocking the door to the parlor. What happened there? And did he really think it's alright to do that in other people's house? Loud.
Teach him, my lord. Put him in his place.
My hand's already moving before any rationale can stop me. Fingers firm at my gun when I finally release the safety from it and take aim. Not at him, but at his friends. They are his, aren't they? Why else would they be here together? Doesn't matter. He won't let people he cares about be harmed. My fingers on the trigger, more than itching to shoot, but I hold back. Sure, I could have simply taken aim at him, but more than seeing him bleed, I want to see the expression on his face once he realizes everything he's doing is futile. He's trapped. Lives are in my hand. His life's in my hand.
Had I known there would be a party in my own home tonight, I would have opened a bloody bottle or two. People these days, in my own home. Can you believe it? I feel so left out.
I can tell the exact moment the realization dawns on him. A short second of his body freezing and blood draining from his face as soon as his feet hit the floor and he looks up. And we're back here again. He's already a prey, trapped by his own recklessness.
Pathetic.
And really, Daisy, even you, what would Kylie say?
Luke, this isn't what you're thinking. You have to listen to us. There's something going on here.
Well, obviously, why else would people be trespassing in my home? What about little Lily over there, then? What's your excuse? Checking back if your clients are doing okay? Is that it? Is this what this is? Oh, we're doing good, by the way.
Sir, please.
Oh, please, what?
Becca's right, sir. We need to get out of this place. You need to leave.
Not a good enough excuse, darling. You people are the ones who need to get out of my sight. Don't worry, I might consider pressing lighter charges for the woman. Can't say the same for the rest of you, but really now. I swear the people of this city need to be taught the meaning of privacy. This is how you want to start the week. Why don't we just go with a bloody massacre if we want to surprise people in their homes, huh?
It's just a passing remark, of course. I'm not stupid enough to do something that'll bring negative attention to myself. Reputation and all that. I just can't risk it. The thought of having dead bodies here, ones that I'm not even responsible for, they're the ones who trespassed. It's already quite too much. It'll literally be overkill, especially for someone like me. Nevertheless, joke or not, Feathers wastes no time drawing his own gun at the slight wave of my own, even if he knows it's already too late. Still, he glares at me. Still, he fights back.
Now, Feathers. Manners. You're in no position to be pointing that gun at people.
There's no desperation in him like I'm hoping, just an annoyance flickering shortly before being hidden underneath a challenge. The likes of him are the kind of people I hate the most. Even with their failures already glaring down at them, mocking every worthless move they make, they have the impudence to stare people in the eye.
Why don't you put yours down first, and then we'll talk about manners.
Oh, he talks back. The gall! You know, your kind pisses me off so much.
Annoying most of the time, like a damn pest you just can't be rid of. But to some degree it is commendable. I'll give him that. After all, we're almost the same in that regard. Almost. I'm still the better person, of course. He tells me to put the gun down, but I see no reason why I should. I'm a homeowner in defense of my own home. I have the right to, I'd like to think. Questionable permit of firearms aside. It's not like I wanted this, but I'm already high-strung and their presence does not help. Bloody peasants. I can never seem to figure out how their minds fully work. Take this one, for example. Despite the pride brimming in him, how he matches my glare with one of his own, he simply lowers his pistol after a long second, not in surrender. The tense set in his shoulders tells me as much, but the closest he can get to lowering his own ego in favor of something I can't quite place. Interesting. Gotta admit, I'm almost disappointed.
As you should be, my lord.
I've expected him to hold until one of us shoots the other. Can't say it'll be more exciting that way. A bullet inside any part of my body isn't something I'd like to have on a bad day like today, or any day for that matter. But I'll surely be predictable of him. And I like predictable. They're the kinds of people who are the easiest to deal with, no matter the situation. With them, there's no second guessing what they'll do. He shoots, I shoot, one of us dies, the other walks away, nothing complicated. Nothing requiring much brain power, just muscle memory at who's the better shooter, end of story. Yet here he is, dragging a deep breath in and setting aside the only thing protecting him. I can easily shoot him this way, be done with this whole farce of a conversation. Instead, I find myself listening. A concession for a person who, in another life, would have also become the person I am today had his circumstances allowed it. Damn shame. We might have gotten along.
Listen, right. I need you to...
But alas,
You broke into my house, and somehow, you expect me to listen like a good little boy. Are you a bit touched in the head, Feathers? I'm not the one breaking laws here.
Look here, fucker. If I wanted you dead, I could have done it so many times already. In fact, I can easily shoot you down right here, right now.
Hey, Keldeo, what's going on?
And you won't be able to do a damn thing, even with that gun.
A meeting of two prideful blokes will never go well, whichever lifetime it is. And I can only laugh at his audacity, his lack of shame and fear even facing the business end of my pistol.
You know what I'm thinking right now? In another lifetime, we would have probably gotten along well.
Guess he's actually able to make it to the Streamstram. Is it you? I stream at a weird time now, so I don't ever feel like bad or judgmental if like somebody can't show up. So don't stress about it. But I really like this schedule. I know not a lot of people always show up, but I dig it. I like staying up to 7 o'clock in the morning. The best truth I can offer him. Not many people, those who have slighted me in particular, live this long to see
And
it.
he should be grateful. You're already gracious enough, allowing him to stand in your presence like this.
Yes, especially when he has a lot to answer. Preferably right now, because as generous as I have been so far, my patience has its limits. My amusement can only last for so long. In 2 steps, I'm standing in front of him, grabbing him by the collar and resting the cold muzzle of the eagle against his temple.
Luke, no!
Hey, now you two, I'm sure we can all talk about this first.
He'll end up a pretty smear on the wall this close.
This loud a lesson.
What is it that you people really want with me? This is the second time this week, and I'm really getting weary of this little game. Did the NCA send you to apprehend me? Or has somebody paid you off to kill me?
Off of college for the next week. Nice. I forget that the colleges get like it's like the autumn break, right? Or am I delusional?
Which one is it, Feathers? Mind you, my arm's getting tired. Better answer quick if you don't want to meet the business end of this gun.
And he knows it. Of course he does. Hitman or not, he has been trained, judging purely from his stance. But not many bother to be as cautious as him. One glimpse at my handgun safety earlier is all it took for him to see I mean business. Similar, too similar. We're too alike in so many little ways, it's funny. Down to the fact that he doesn't even flinch, no matter how heavy the threats in my words are. Even knowing how one flick of my finger on the trigger will be enough to end his sorry life. He should have caved in by now, started begging, like so many others before him. Instead, he throws more vitriol, adds more kindling to the fire already burning.
I'm not with NCA. I'm just here to help. There's something else in this house, and we're all in danger. You have to believe me, right? You need to let us go. You need to get out of here before it's too late. If you want to keep your sorry ass alive, you'll listen to people with more brain cells than you.
Igniting it further that I can't help return it to him with equal fervor. Oh, I guess that was supposed to be read by the ghost, but they didn't.
Why, you insolent!
We both decide to move in that moment, both our bodies tensing, each of us racing to get ahead of the other. You forgot we get a half-term raise until about a week before our first? Nice! Nice. You can relax. You can think about your future. You can think about taxes. You can think about how Halloween's gonna suck. Don't think about that. However, before we can even get a head start, a voice unexpectedly rings above the chaos about to ensue. Finally, we're back to where we left off. I've always been cautious and careful, cutting off trouble's head before things can escalate if I'm able. That's why I deal with the likes of Harvey, Suarez, and Johans. For all who we are, for all the enemies the likes of us can make, such a thing has never happened before, because I do everything to make sure it doesn't happen. So to see Hannah in danger, I don't quite know how to feel or what to do. Of all the times for there to be a hostage situation, if this even is one, why now? Good fucking God, what's going on here?
Help me. Please. Please make it stop.
I think death would be preferable if my sense of self-preservation was shot to high hell. It would deprive me of choice and of responsibility in the matter. And I don't want to think about how fast my heart beats, so that I hardly hear anything other than my own heartbeat and her pleading.
Please. They're in my head. Screaming. It hurts so much.
What do I do? What can one do against something holding your life in their hands? With a woman that looks more monster than man. When the woman's expressions turns into one of amusement and her laughter fills the air, I want to call her out on it. There's a rage simmering just beneath my skin. But my own scream dies down in my throat. All I'm able to do is muster a pathetic croak. She laughs as if it's all some kind of sick joke. My breathing becomes a bit too shallow for my liking, and I feel like I'm on a precipice where one wrong move can lead to someone dying. This is crazy. All of it.
Luke, help me, please. I can't.
And something in me snaps. There's a switch in my head that wants to go one way or the other. Save. Keep quiet. Oh, Hannah didn't like that. Never mind. Shit. I thought we'd piss off the ghost. Big bucks with Hannah. What am I doing? Why am I hesitating? I won't go so far to claim that I'm sort of decent human being, but this is Hannah, my wife I'm talking about here. What sort of husband, what sort of father would I be to just stand idly while she was in danger? That doesn't change the fact that this is all fucking insane, of course. Having all these intruders is crazy. To think about going at this thing is crazy. I can hardly classify it as a person in my eyes. Perhaps a maggot that needs to be crushed under my shoe, just like the rest of this sorry lot. But a person? Hardly. But I care none for any of it. They don't matter. All of it matters is that Hannah and my children are in danger. The cold pours over me, freezes me in a place once more when I try to make demands. I have to take deep breaths, grit my teeth, and steel my fists to even find the courage to speak up.
Let go of her! Don't hurt her! Whatever it is you want! Just don't you dare hurt her!
And if my voice isn't as firm as I'd like, it doesn't matter. I will beg and plead if I have to. On my knees, bend my fucking proud neck, and maybe even break it just to make sure she's safe. It's not her life alone that's in danger. Our children's lives are on the line, even mine perhaps, because I don't know what I would do if anything happened to Hannah. I will plead for the woman who will be the mother of my children. The cold stillness is gone from my body, and my very skin feels like it's on fire. And I have to shout, scream at her when Hannah continues to cry out in pain.
What do you want? Money? Is that it? I give you however much you want.
Yeah, it's not money.
Luke, please make it stop. I want it to stop.
Just stop whatever it is you're doing to her. Can't you see she's hurting?
I cannot stand for
Let
this.
go of her! Now!
I say it with such ridiculous conviction, and of course she won't listen. Why would she? She has the upper hand here. There's no reason for her to do as I ask. But her voice is but a whisper and deathly slow, and I'm hard-pressed to hear it over the pounding of my heart in my ears. Hello there, Val. I'm just gonna keep calling you Val, because I feel like I've been saying your name wrong, and I feel bad about it. She speaks, the woman from the gardens and the servant girl from the ballroom, from the hallucination, vision, memories, whatever they are. A hush settles over the room as we listen.
Do you really wish to be with her?
I don't have maximum affinity with Hannah, and I think I'm gonna die because of it. Like, I think we're gonna get a bad ending.
More than anything. So please, let her go.
Or maybe we are, I don't know. Though her expression doesn't change, I have this most awful feeling that it wasn't the answer she was looking for. I can see how the woman fingers tighten around Hannah's throat, hear the hitch in her breath, and I fear that I've made the worst decision in speaking out. I didn't think she would listen, yet she does. A hand on Hannah's back sends her falling down the stairs. I move to catch her, and that sends us both sprawling at the foot of the stairs. With my back on the ground and her on top of me, the pain doesn't even register in my head. All I can worry about is Hannah and the baby's well-being as I pull both of us off the ground and away from the stairs, away from her.
Are you alright, Hannah? Are you hurt?
It takes too much for my liking before she speaks. All she's able to do for a moment is whimper in pain, a hand on her throat. And when she does manage to speak, her voice is far too faint, along with the hold she has on my arm. It's terrifying to see her like this, and to think I nearly lost her.
We are fine, Luke. I'm sorry. Just give me a moment.
For a moment, we forget, but
You deserve each other.
just hearing her voice triggers something in Hannah, and she starts to tear up. Her face contorts into one of pain and fear. But I grab her by the shoulders to keep her in place so that she can see me and only me, and so that I can only see her too.
Look at me, Hannah. Look, I'm here. You're safe. I won't let her hurt you again. Do you understand? Just breathe.
I don't know exactly what in the bloody hell is going on, yet I can't find it in me to care. Whoever these people are and whatever they're here for, these are not acceptable conditions for a pregnant woman. For all I know, this is all some dumb charade to get to me. All the times I've seen the woman before, it could have all been an act to get to me, to get under my skin. And to think they dare hurt Hannah. For all the fear that I had felt, seeing her touch Hannah, I can only think of her as an actress in grotesque makeup. My hand still shakes, the fear not having quite gone, but anger fills me as I look at the woman, a sneer on my face.
How dare you! I don't care who you are, but how dare you touch Hannah! I want you out of my house, out before I call the police and have you put away for the rest of your miserable life! And that goes for all of you!
I hold my ground, firm and strong with my declaration. But the nerve of her! She just laughs in my face! A terrible, dreadful laugh that makes me feel as if there are ants crawling on my skin and maggots squirming into my ears.
You are telling me to get out of your house. You threatened to lock me up.
She laughs and she laughs.
What's so funny? What are you laughing at? None of this is funny!
But she persists, and it almost feels like her voice is in my head.
Oh, no different. No different. You're all the same. You can all suffer together.
And that is when everything turns to complete and utter shite. Oof. Wait, why is Marianne not with us? Oh, she's right there. She was bent over. She looked like really short. I was very confused. It's a slow thing, a whisper more than a bang, as the darkness creeps into the very corner of the room. The walls shudder and groan. Blood runs from the ceiling, crawls down the walls, and stains the floor. It feels as if life itself is being sucked from the house, slowly but surely. The beauty of this place is gone, with only the dead, decaying remains of a mansion left in its wake. I don't have to wonder if it's just a foyer that's become the nightmarish place. I can already hear it. Gone are the growling of thunder and the lashing of rain and wind against the foyer's high windows. All of it has been replaced by a more grating sound. A cacophony of voices from nowhere and everywhere, echoing throughout the now horrid walls. Voice that neither belongs to us nor the people who live here.
What's going on?
All throughout the house, shouts of alarm and surprise ring out, a mirror to the horror creeping up in each of us. Who wouldn't be shocked? This is insane. Even Daisy, feisty woman that she is, trembles at the sight of it, clinging desperately to Lily while steel and feathers stand protectively in front of the two. Brave of them, I have to admit, to put themselves in the front line like that. Though it doesn't necessarily mean they don't feel the same fear as the rest of us. Something I don't blame them for. There seems to be no end in sight to this insanity. If anything, this feels like it's the beginning of the end.
Me. Oh my god! Please, somebody! Anybody! Who are you?
Stay Hey, away!
No, no, no! Stay away! Stay away!
Her screams fill the mansion. She laughs all the while, a harsh, agonizing sound that goes on for what feels like forever. Until there is nothing but silence, her horrid smile, and the pale hands reaching out to me, calling, beckoning, pleading. I'm terrified. I really am, like I should be. But I've never been one to truly stay afraid. I've long learned that fear will not get me anywhere. Cowering in a corner doesn't keep me safe, and it will not keep me alive. Not like rage does. I've learned to use this burning hate inside of me to survive. There's no difference now.
Stay away from me!
Why do you wish to leave? This is where you belong, my lord. Remember the blood we share? This is your home. Don't you remember? You promised to return, to stay together with me, with us, with people no different from you.
I still don't understand what she means by we.
What is she talking about, Luke? What does she mean?
Don't listen to her, she lies. I promised no such thing to anyone. Hannah, you're the one who bought this house. How should I know what she's babbling about? I never even wanted to be here in the first place.
A terrible case of mistaken identity. That must be it. I'm quite sure of it. I don't know this woman, this monster. Why would I say that to someone like her? In my entire lifetime, I've only made the kept sincere promises to a mere two people, Hannah Evans and Eleanor Chandler. No one else. The rest of those who claim I've promised anything to them can go fuck themselves. Bloody hell, I may enjoy the company of women, but I'm not an idiot to start spouting such nonsense to anyone. A line must be drawn, especially if I'm to keep myself alive. Yet she still goes on, insists, making me appear a liar in front of these people.
Of course you still deny it. Have you truly forgotten? You haven't changed, I see. Still a deceiver.
She's lying!
You see, my love, nothing has changed. Still no difference, you and I. Just like the rest of us. Just like every single soul in this putrid wreck. We've waited for so long. You can hear them, yes. Their pleas, their calls, their invitation. Come, my lord. The house seeks
I still don't
its
understand.
master.
The monster reaches out again, her hands a gory, abhorrent sight, along with that smile spread across her face. My body's already moving on instinct, stumbling back, one step at a time in a desperate bid to be away from her. Anything to put distance between me and this vile creature. No matter what she says, I am nothing like her. I need to get out of this house. Out of this country, preferably. Take Hannah with me. We can start a new life out of this dreadful city, start a family. There's nothing for us here. Her parents are long gone, nothing to keep us tied to this place. Johans has likely been taken by this woman, and he's not what binds me to this wretched city. I only need Hannah. We can leave.
Careful, Luke!
My foot steps on something, sending me sliding on my back and flat on the floor. Beside me, a paper, familiar one, flutters down. It's this thing again from the open house, though it feels less like a gimmick and more like a threat with the recent events. It must have fallen out of these peasants in the commotion earlier. For a moment, they appear conflicted to see it in my hands, but wisely keeps their opinions to themselves, leaving the damn thing to simply bear its grisly message for everyone in the room to see. Help me, help me, help me. Is this it? What they've been telling us? Why everything in my life has gone to shite because of some stupid old letter? An invitation, indeed. One I'm not willing to accept, not at any time. From the top of the stairs, the creature moves again, drawing my attention back to her. Her gait remains slow and awkward as she walks forward, that smile never leaving her. But I won't give her the chance. I am not dying here. I certainly am not giving myself to a hideous creature like her either. Adrenaline kicks in, and despite panicked gasps and worried glances from Daisy's friends, I pay them no mind as I reach for the main door and... Without warning, it slams open, revealing not the mansion grounds like I'm expecting. Before my mind can even comprehend what's happening, black tendrils have already coiled tightly around my limbs, dragging every person in the foyer into the room. None of us even get to scream when the darkness completely envelops us upon the doors closing.
Understand where your place is now, my love. You belong here. Is it so difficult to grasp? We've been waiting.
There's a moment of panic when the feeling of the tendrils around my limbs finally dissipates. As soon as my eyes adjust to the darkness of the room on my feet, I'm reaching for the knife and holding it out, watching, waiting for every movement, using it as a way to put distance between me and these peasants. Who knows what they'll do now? We're all desperate to get out of this house. There's only 7 of us in this room, 4 of them friends at that. I cannot trust these people and to not turn on me. Wait, to turn, whatever. Bloody hell, even Hannah's giving me the same looks as them now. Though Makala has already gone loon, crouched in a corner and muttering to herself, you can't really say anyone's safe from her. If anything, she's the one I should watch out for. I cannot trust anyone. Not anymore. Not after this. Despite the pleading looks Lily shoots my way, they all huddle in the corner behind steel and feathers. But I have to remind myself that even people like her are capable of doing things unpleasant. She's only human after all. It's never an excuse. Why, even Hannah has her cunning manipulative moments, though she does it much subtler than I. Why else would Lily show this letter to us today if not to save herself? I guess that backfired on her now that she and her friends are also stuck here. Still, I have every right to be livid. Everything that I've built has fallen apart. All because these people came into our lives.
You! All of you! This is all your fault! If I'm dying to this bloody case, I'm taking you all down with me!
Put that knife down, Lucille.
Hey now, Mr. Wright. I know the situation ain't good, but we have to calm down.
Sorry, I have like a hangnail.
We're all in the same boat here.
You shut your mouth! If it weren't for you, or this letter, for all of you, none of this would have happened!
And blaming everyone in this room isn't going to get us out of this place. Please put that knife down, darling. You might hurt yourself.
Are you taking their side? You're also stuck in this nightmare, Buttercup! What about the children? Aren't you the least bit worried about them? That creature is out to get us, and you're still defending these people!
I'm not defending anyone, Luke. I'm just trying to be reasonable when you're clearly not.
Oh, of course you're not. You're just the one who bought this bloody mansion to begin with. If I didn't know any better, you did this on purpose!
Why, no. Why would I ever do that? This was only meant to be an anniversary gift. For you. For us. For the family we're going to have.
Right, anniversary gift. Oh, here's your gift, darling. Oh, by the way, there's a curse included in that package. I hope that's all right. Are you really that eager to get rid of me, Hannah? Because if that's what you've been meaning to do all this time, you might as well just put a knife in my back while I...
Suddenly, Hannah steps up and slaps a knife away from my hand. Said knife slides uselessly under the table out of my reach. Before my mind registers what's happening, a sharp blow explodes in the side of my head, sending me reeling backwards. She punched him! She merely stands before me afterwards, without even batting an eye, glaring at me as if she might just rip off my head this instant. Sometimes I
Don't
forget.
you dare, Luke. Don't you dare imply I've ever thought of you that way.
That Hannah is never the weak woman I believed her to be. How did I come to think of her as such? She used to be someone I could look up to, wasn't she? When you look at her now, the way she stands tall, facing a man like me, the same way she's done so all those years, I can't help but think, am I not responsible for taking that part of her away myself? Enjoy your time as Mrs. Luke Wright. What a bunch of shite. Realizing this, I can only look away when she reaches up and places a hand on my face. Gone is the anger, and only... What? That doesn't make sense. Gone is the anger, and only a soft smile remains while she looks at me with a shine in her eyes. The 7 years we've been together, I've only been nothing but a piece of shite to her. Yet here she is, still smiling at me the way she's done so many years ago. It's impossible not to feel like complete and utter trash like this. She has an uncanny way of doing that to me, really, especially when she takes my hand in hers and places it right on her tummy, right where 2 tiny babies are still growing. Ours.
Love, look at me. We've already talked about this. If we are still going to do this, it has to be the 2 of us. I will stay with you, but things are going to have to change if we want this to work.
Yeah, like you gotta stop cheating.
Can't keep doubting each other like this.
Not until we find a way out of here.
I'm sure we can. Maybe they know something we don't.
You're going to rely on them for that? These peasants who brought this on us?
Keep talking about us like that and see if any of us here will keep you out of this place.
Rebecca, stop! All of you stop this!
Hear Lily speak out loud, I can't say I'm not surprised. She's always given me the impression of someone so meek from the moment I've met her, either from her inexperience or her station in life. She's never struck me as someone fitting to be a real estate agent. If anything, that meltdown she had during the open house had only proven my assumptions until now. Quietly, she puts herself between me and Daisy, cutting whatever scathing words we've yet to hurl at the other. The way she glares at me, it reminds me a little of the way my own mom would look at me. Particularly when I've done something wrong. And it's not a stare she's unused to showing. She's done this before, probably to a younger sibling. Huh. If she only sees us now as a pair of squabbling kids and not too mature adults, well, that's only to be expected. No doubt that's how she sees us. For a long moment, there's only silence in the room. Steel, the big oaf, doesn't dare break it. Neither does Feathers. With both merely watching us. Bunch of wimps, these men. Not that it matters when Lily starts speaking again, after some of the anger and tension has lifted from the room.
Stop this, please! With or without that damn piece of paper,
A deep breath, an exhale, and she closes her eyes, a crease forming between her eyebrows when she grips her hand tightly in front of
We
her.
still would have ended up in this mess.
The atmosphere that descends into the room right after that, admission is anything but pleasant. Can I call it that, an admission? It seems like it from the way her eyes nervously flick between her friends and I. She appears to know more than she lets on, and how she makes herself appear smaller after dropping that bomb on us doesn't sit quite well with me. And patience is something I don't have the luxury of having right now and bestowing upon other people. What else does this girl know? What else is she not telling us? Because from the looks of this, even her friends have no idea what she's talking about. Unwilling to wait, I grab her arm before she retreats without explanation, waving the letter still in my hand in front of her.
Ow! Sir, you're hurting me!
Hey, hands off her, right?
Fuck off, Feathers. I have questions for your friend, and she better have the answers.
Fuck off, Feathers!
Luke, will you stop taking it out on every single person?
Your friend is hiding something, Daisy.
She struggles for a moment, but my hold eventually forces her to look up at me. Fear and uncertainty spreads across her features, especially when her eyes land on the damned paper. As much as I want to be considerate right now, I want answers.
What do you mean, Lily?
I'm not sure about it.
Bitch, you're not even sure? Fuck off!
Don't give me that, you know something!
Ow! Please, sir. I know the paper's useless, okay?
At the mention of the letter all of a sudden, Mikala stands. I've almost forgotten she's here. Her ramblings have faded away in the shouting. Without warning, she snatches the paper out of my hand. It's a miracle it didn't rip right then and there. With the way she glares at it, I think she may want to do exactly that.
We should have gotten rid of this thing! We should have burned it at the first opportunity we got! No, even if we rip it to shreds, it won't do anything. I think...
You don't know what I've seen, Santos. There were children! Victims! All because they had no idea what this thing will do to them. Oh God, those poor souls! They were screaming and begging before she...
Then what about those people they mentioned in the news lately? All those who died? My coworkers? The open house clients? None of them had seen it. Even Rose. And yet they're all dead.
Well, we definitely showed the paper to Rose.
I should know. That letter has been with me since I picked it up. And I swear I didn't make copies of this thing. Even if I wanted to save myself, I wouldn't do that to my friends. Or anyone.
Is that what the trip to BRC was for?
Yes, I'm sorry. I couldn't tell you guys until I was certain. None of you believed me the first time. I had to find proof.
And yet we're all here! Are you taking me for a fool, Lily?
I have to go with whiskey on this. Who knows how many has already seen this before you found it?
Oh my fucking god. He calls He calls them Lily and Daisy because they're fucking flowers. Oh my god, okay. Vodka brain, big brain.
This cursed thing has to go!
We would have ended up here either way. Maybe? I really don't know. Sir, please. All I know is that paper isn't the reason why all of this is happening.
This is bad writing because beforehand she didn't mention this even once.
There's something else that...
This place.
Teal's been quiet this entire time. That the sound of him talking, however, whispered it is, still manages to catch us all off guard. We all pause, turning to him with likely the same questions in our eyes.
What?
I just remembered something a friend told me. You know, stuff about ghosts or curses. You probably don't want to hear it.
No,
yeah, we do.
It might be something. What about this place, Zach?
There's still a moment where he hesitates, but Lily's urging eventually spurs him into speaking.
Remember what I told you the last time you and Ash visited? A few days ago?
You mean what Andrew told you? Those were just stories, Zach. It might not even help.
Regardless, Steele pauses while he allows Lily to remember. Soon enough, whatever it is that dawns on her face lights up with something like hope. Of all things in this nightmare, hope? Her head snaps up and she reaches for Steele's arm to give it a squeeze. A reassurance or a confirmation? The meaning is lost even to Daisy, who glances at them baffled.
Belle, what are you...
Becca, it's this place.
What? You mean, like, burn this place down?
I still think we should get rid of this letter before we start thinking of destroying a place with some historical value.
What? No! We are not burning a multi-million-pound mansion, you peasants! I just spent a fortune on this!
Seriously, Luke, are you really more worried about that?
Buttercup, Marching, millions! It's gonna take years getting all that money back!
Well, you certainly won't be getting any of that money if you're dead. Really, Luke? Is that more important than your life?
Bloody fucking hell! Not only do I have trespassers on my property, but they're also arsonists!
It's not only that. Think about it.
Then they proceed to tell some ridiculous narrative about the supernatural. Stories about ghosts, legends, curses born out of great anger and pain, and whatever else people use to scare the children. Not that I believe any of it, as if knowing will help, but a bunch of loons, these people, officially off their rockers. To think I'll be stuck in this nightmare with people like them. What did I ever do to the world? Of course it's all absurd until...
I think it's just like what the professor guy said. Just like that old story. This mansion and some other thing might be keeping her here. You know, something he wanted in life, but never got to have. Something like that.
Or maybe it's not something, Zachary.
Someone. The who doesn't have to be uttered out loud. There's only one person in this room who that woman calls after. Every single one of them has heard it. Bloody hell, it's the reluctant shift in Daisy's eyes when they flicker over to me, though only briefly. She's also holding information on her own, or perhaps a realization she just had. Doesn't matter. I know when people have slowly started to turn on me. How do they think I lasted in this cutthroat world? Betray them when they do the same thing to you. Put a knife in their back before they can act. Kill or be killed. Survival in a nutshell. What now? Are they going to throw me at the creature? See what happens to save themselves? I'm no fool.
No. You're all in on this, aren't you?
Are you people implying that my husband, that we should just...
Of course! Of fucking course!
Luke, that isn't what I...
Are you all going to stoop that low?
It's nothing like that, Ash. All we're saying is that maybe he might be able to do something about this.
Yeah, just talk to her. Go on a date. Talk, you know?
Drop it, you guys. We're not leaving anyone here.
Just like that, their bickering begins anew. Bloody peasants. My head's already aching just listening to them. To think that this is all the solution they can come up with? I should have just stabbed them all and made a run for it. Doesn't help that with each second we spend talking here, the crazier this whole place gets. The voices have become louder and somehow sounding more vicious. If the things in this room start floating, mark my words, I will fucking flip out. And they may not be thinking of it right now, but eventually, Eventually, they'll turn on me. Such is the nature of humans. Better find a way out of this place as soon as possible if I want to stay alive. Fuck, I still have so much to do. None of our choices seem sound, but who knows? We don't understand a shite about this place. Might as well keep trying, right? Whatever works. If I also have to be the one to make that bloody decision, so be it. Less room for errors, with the only sane one doing the thinking. On the off chance I'm wrong, well, they suggested it. What? I don't think either of these are gonna work. Okay, that didn't, like, actually change affinity, but if what, Sarah said earlier is true, the letter doesn't actually mean anything. With these cries growing louder, this has become the easiest decision I've ever made. I'm getting tired of hearing her sobbing, really. It's just irritating. Isn't she getting tired of it? Besides, someone has to act fast, think fast, and what else is the root cause of our problems but this place when the letter was found? No need to make things more complicated. It started here, why won't it end here? If what Lilia said is true, then that's all the more reason to destroy it. Put an end to this madness before someone thinks of putting the blasted place up in the market. When I get out of this place, I swear I'm suing a bunch of people, run that estate company into the ground if need be. We spent millions, damn it! Millions! With a sigh and perhaps a heavy heart, I open one of the drawers of my study table, taking a bottle of liquor out for myself, then passing it on to every occupant in the room. They accept it, but not without a look of protest or a confused glance my way. It does shut them all up, so maybe I've done something good.
Look, this isn't the time!
Even more when I pop the cork of the bottle and pour its contents on the floor.
Well, what are you simpletons waiting for?
We waste no time dousing the whole room. The smell of... is this kind of a bad idea? I feel like we're gonna die. The smell of alcohol filling the air. If I didn't know any better, I'd say they're more eager to set this place on fire. And the blaze catches easily in this room when I set it alight, using the blasted paper as kindling. With the whole place drenched with wine and all manner of things alcoholic I've been hiding from Hannah, the small fire soon turns into an inferno. In a matter of seconds, we're out the door. It doesn't lead exactly where I'm hoping it will. Although, ending up in the kitchen does give us more reason to play like a bunch of pyromaniacs. Fishing the liquor stocks from the cupboards, we also do the same thing we've done to the study. Isn't Johan's gonna die? Door after door in every room we pass, pouring bottle after bottle of expensive aged liquor and setting everything on fire, only leaving once the blaze has started in earnest. When we run out of liquor, we simply drop the bottle and take one off from many nooks I've stashed. Whatever. And there's no lack of it in here. The hard stuff, the shorts, the watered down kind. Gifts from distant relatives, friends, so-called friends, you name it. I've made sure there's always one within reach.
How many of these things do you keep in this house?
I always have a few bottles in the bedroom, you know, the parlor and the dining room.
You have problems, man.
Well, isn't this the time to discuss them?
Turns out it'll be useful now. Not to drown out my sorrows, but for this, wonder of wonders, though I suppose I can now say it's also saved my life. But there's no time for some introspection now, because with each room we pass and burn, the place also becomes easier to navigate. As if it's slowly righting itself, returning to what it's supposed to be. Soon we finally find ourselves standing before the main door. The strong odor of burning wood, cloth, and varnish alike wafts from under the doors of the rooms we've previously torched, slowly filling the hall with a thick black smoke. The blaze has also started in earnest in every part of the house. I can already feel the heat seeping from the rooms I've set aflame. In a matter of minutes, flames will engulf the whole house. Jesus Christ. I'm just coughing for dramatic effect, you know, because the house is burning down. Fittingly, that this is when she appears again before us. Watching us from the top of the stairs while her world goes up in flames around her. However, what catches my eye is that that expression on her face. Not the vile smile I've already grown accustomed to, or the one where her eyes gleam with complete hatred. This one? Forlorn is the only word I can think to describe it.
Please, help me, please.
Can the dead still feel? Can she hear us? Or is that merely another one of her tricks to trap us in this nightmare? Like this, however, she seems almost like the woman she used to be, and I don't waste any time pondering over it. Not with the exit just a few steps away. The doors finally open, and through it I can glimpse the world outside. Safety. However, I do turn, if only to see the last of her, a farewell more than anything. For all her attempts to lure me, draw me in, her wishes to be with me, she does not stop me when I finally run from this horrid place. Quietly, she disappears. Well, we killed Johans. Watching a multi-million-pound house burn before me, for some reason, nothing about this bothers me. Maybe it's that one last look on her face that has changed it. Maybe it's what I've seen and heard inside. There's only a calm, a stillness. The same hush that comes over a terrible storm has swept the countryside, and with it is the sight of the sun rising above the horizon. Ever so slowly, the sky begins to lighten before my eyes. Darkness giving way to the warm morning hues, soft rays spilling over the vast expanse of Luxburn's countryside. Nearby, the trees sway and rustle with the breeze, a passing draft that carries even into this room from outside, cold enough to make me shiver. The remains of a storm that has passed. In the distance, I can hear the soft chirps of birds, while the rest of the world stirs, wakes. Dawn, at last. We are free. Epilogue. That was kind of abrupt. Like the flames that engulfed the mansion that night, whispers quickly spread across Luxburn after the incident. Officers who investigated it have simply deemed it an unfortunate accident. Regardless of the truth, Luke Wright files criminal charges against Briar Realty Corporation after, for undisclosed reasons to the public, forcing the latter to declare bankruptcy. A move that has merely stoked the rumors further. But for those who still believe in the stories of the old, and those who know the truth, it is but a testament to the curse and the secrets the Ermengarde mansion has hidden for centuries. If there will come a time where those will finally be revealed, only the ashes of the now ruined mansion know. However, on nights where the wind howls and thunder booms across the sky, some still claim hearing voices where it once stood. Of cries and wails that fills the nights, and desperate calls for help for anyone who dares listen. As for those who once tread its halls... Oh, okay, happy ending. Despite their problems, Luke and Hannah Wright managed to salvage their 7-year marriage. Not without its fair share of challenges, of course, especially for Luke. But for the sake of their children, he tries. Although the man still fears fatherhood, afraid of becoming like his father was to him. However, with little help from Hannah, he eventually comes around, especially when the twins are born. He's still far from being a good father. He thinks he never will be. There are parts of him that will always remain unpleasant and will exasperate Hannah to no end. But even someone like him sees the joy in this, in having a family. For the first time in a long while, he admits he's content. They're happy. Months after her recovery, Marianne McCullough heads back to her homeland, ready to close a chapter of a past she has left hanging for so long. There she visits Lorraine's grave, asking for forgiveness from the girl she once loved, something she has intentionally avoided for years. Although the terror of what she's witnessed inside the Ermengarde mansion still clings to her, she bravely chooses to move on from it, turning a new leaf by focusing on a new branch of her interior design company and leaving her interior design company at Luxburn in the hands of her secretary instead. Although she never returns to the city after, she is frequently seen visiting to check on the people who have become acquainted with her in years there. Having finally accepted herself, she won't deny she's in a happier place now. Despite making the Ireland branch of her interior design company her focus now, Marianne continues to cater to her most avid patrons in Luxburn when requested. And after her work on the Ermengarde mansion, the Wright couple, particularly Hannah Wright, have never trusted another to handle the design of any place they own. Hold on. Upon moving to their new place after giving birth to hers and Luke's children, Marianne's name is the first thing she calls, while the woman is quick to fly back to the city at the socialite summons, not only helping with the decorations of their new place, but also assisting with the renovations, much to Hannah's delight. Since then, the two women have kept a close friendship. Often they can be seen going around town together when Marianne's in town, and Hannah can be heard recommending the designer to her peers during parties. In a city often kept In a city, often keeping an ear out for any gossip, one can't deny that both women have found a confidant in another. With help from family and friends, Zachary Steele is soon able to open a photography studio of his own, something he's only dreamed of having as a child. Although he still hopes to get back into making indie films someday, client work and small projects have kept him mostly busy. Hectic as it may be, he can only be glad for the amount of work pouring in. It has made moving on from the incident in the Ermengarde mansion easier, if not faster. But while there are still nightmares, with support from his family, his doctor, and his own drive, the dark images have finally turned into pleasant dreams. He's aware he won't ever truly forget, but he's no longer running away. At times, when he's not busy or after a hard day's work, he thinks there's another story for the big screen to be told in that. An idea he may soon turn into reality once his time affords it. In the months that follow, Rebecca Gales becomes a prominent researcher within Luxburn's major academic circles, especially after writing what she has discovered about Ansem Village and the Ermengarde mansion. With help from Professor Andrew Clark, she is soon able to secure funding to continue her research, presenting her findings yearly at local and international symposiums. I knew that word. Now at the tail end of her current study, she hopes to publish her first book, correcting all inaccuracies in the city's current history, a move supported by both colleagues, students, and friends alike. Though she knows she still has a long way to go before she can even begin to change people's minds about it, Professor Clark has warned her as much. She perseveres. Doing it not for herself, but for the sake of a history the future generation must never forget. No matter how disturbing her experience with the curse may have been, she remains the worrywart she's always been. Even after what she's seen, she continues to fret over people she cares about, sometimes much to their frustration or embarrassment. But if one thing's that's shifted, it's her relationship with the people in their little group, particularly with Zachary Steele. In fact, on numerous occasions, she has been spotted dropping by his new studio, bringing the man food on days when he's swamped with work. They also seem to have grown more comfortable around each other than before. Maybe it's born out of their shared experience, or maybe the way they see each other has simply changed naturally due to the years they've known each other. Regardless of the whys, it's a change the man welcomes and appreciates. In turn, he strives to return her kind gestures whenever he can. For all the horrors they've seen, who would have thought something good would come out of it? Oh boy, things have inevitably become strained between Ashton Frey and Rebecca Gales in the months following her confession. And with their lives getting busier, the two have eventually drifted apart! Although neither talks about it, and the teacher still strives to forget an old love, it's clear in Rebecca that there are still feelings left she couldn't let go of. If anything, however, this has only made it obvious how much has changed between them, and how much she has clung to the idea of Ashton from their younger days, the one that may not have been there in the first place. Merely an idea for a starry-eyed young girl. But if there will ever be a time she'll be able to accept this, to move on from the hurt and repair an old friendship that has fallen to ruin, only she knows. That's intense. Amidst her struggles, Rebecca finds an unlikely companion in Luke Wright. While being a father has kept him busy nowadays, he still manages to make time for his goddaughter, Kylie Suarez, though the man still won't admit it when asked. Rebecca still regards the man as insufferable. She doubts it'll ever change. But after all she's seen, much as she denies it, she now considers his presence the closest thing she has to comfort. A similar sentiment the businessman seems to hold, even confiding in the woman of his own problems and fears, things he couldn't voice out to his wife. Their friendship may be awkward at best, with the grim reality of death having once shattered over two of them, it's something they eventually grow fond of in time. With her newfound courage, Isabella Santos finally chooses to pursue what she really wants for herself. Having made enough to keep her family afloat for a few years, and with their blessing, she quits her job at Briar Realty Corporation and takes the scholarship offer from the local university. Though remarkably out of practice and unsure if she'll be able to keep up by the time she returns to university, she finds her feet soon enough with help from people close to her. And with her confidence and her skills growing, so do the number of people recognizing her and her work. It doesn't take long for several award-giving bodies to take notice of her. For all of her accomplishments, however, she has never truly forgotten what's happened at the Ermengarde mansion. The images still remain in her, and on particularly unpleasant nights, terrors continue to visit her dreams. No! She knows they won't ever disappear from her life. It has become a part of her in the same way death has permanently taken from her. However, she's no longer afraid, and with a brave face she carries on, earnestly wishing that someday she'll be able to paint brighter, more vivid thoughts on her canvas, an honest portrayal of life and hope amidst the fear. Shortly after accepting the scholarship grant from Luxburn University, Isabella moves from Salemwell residence in favor of staying in a dorm close to her campus. Although Rebecca Gales is quick to offer assistance for the move, she does admit she'll be missing her neighbor for more than 5 years. When all is said and done, she's become fonder of the girl over the years, and with their shared experiences over the curse, they've only grown closer. Yeah, okay. Isabella leaves with a promise to visit every once in a while, and even though she still jokingly complains about Rebecca's bossy attitude, she confesses that she also misses the woman's fussing. After all, in a place miles away from her real family, Rebecca is still the closest thing she has to a sister. More than a year later, once everything in their respective lives have settled, Zachary Steele and Isabella Santos finally hold their exhibit together. A project that has been in the making for almost 2 years after the photographer casually brought it up to the other artist. While merely intended as a small event, it has been surprisingly attended by several members of Luxburn's upper class and art enthusiasts. Although only a few of the pieces have been meant for sale, the show has brought prominence to Zachary and Isabella's names in the city's art scene. It has since been followed by several other exhibits by the two, both in and out of the city. Currently, they are planning to hold their first show overseas. Yet even with the unexpected, overwhelming fame, friendship between the two has remained strong. Theirs, after all, is a bond that goes beyond mere paintings and partners in a small project. He's her family as much as she is his. Following his success in bringing several murder cases to a close, Ashton Frey receives a recommendation for transfer to Luxburn's lead agency against organized crimes. An endorsement eagerly backed by the newly appointed successor to the late Chief Inspector Lee, Abigail Harris. Knowing he'll have more resources, leeway, and a bigger chance at ultimately bringing Luke Wright to justice, Ashton Frey accepts. He still wants the people close to him against Wright and his associates, but only a friendly reminder now more than anything. Though he does worry, he believes that they're wise enough to know what they're doing and trust their judgment. For now, he's decided to leave the evidence and the law to speak for itself and take care of the man once the proper time comes. Nowadays, police work and operations keep him busy, sometimes taking him away from the city he grew up in for days on end. A rare thing for him to enjoy once upon a time, yet this time he never loses his drive, simply growing more determined after having finally found a clear purpose close to the rush and excitement he dreamed of as a child. Although Ashton still keeps mum about specific details of his work, his experience with the curse has slowly taught him how to open up, especially to those he knows that genuinely care for him. He still has a long way to go, he knows that, but for the sake of the people who are still with him, those who have chosen to stay, he hopes that there will come a day when he no longer has to hide behind his own lies. A day when he is no longer afraid of facing the truth in his own words. On his days off, Ashton is usually seen loitering around Zachary Steele's studio, either to help him out on one of his pet projects or exasperating the other man on purpose. Either or, it's mostly the latter. At certain times, he'll volunteer a model for one of Zach's projects, in spite of the photographer's reassurances that it's not needed. Regardless, Ashton insists, before complaining how meticulous the whole process is hours later, to Zach's utter amusement. Though sometimes they make it into small trivial arguments, things have stayed cordial between the two. If anything, the ordeal they've both gone through has merely strengthened a friendship the detective didn't expect to find in anyone. Between the lingering trauma and their measly attempts at normalcy, it takes a few months for the awkwardness to finally lift for both Ashton Frey and Isabella Santos. Of several weeks trying to find their voice and remembering how to act around each other despite enduring affections. But once the unease fades, there's only their usual banter and rapport to fall back on, the casual talk and the friendly jibes. And for both of them, it's easy, like breathing, like coming home after another journey, a comfort in spite of the other things they've gone through. Their days may still be filled with petty arguments and light teasing, but in the aftermath, when all's been said and done, something constant has already been forged between them. A quiet, steadfast thing they can both hold on to as they both carry on. Okay. Now Sarah said not to skip past the, credits, but I mean, these are the credits, so... God.
I knew the game was over.
The song?
Before the rules were
Cool
set.
song.
I've never been a winner. I didn't want to play.
Cool.
Thought there was a way out, but there's no exit from this maze. Where every path is the wrong turn, and every choice is a mistake.
Was that little thing missing? I mean, we didn't really get much information on what happens with Hannah.
I lied to you and everyone I care until the
I guess she's just a housewife.
Cowardice is easier than being brave, but at last I found the strength I lost to sing my love.
That epilogue was definitely proof that you can get multiple different like endings.
But my lone heart.
I'm happy with the ending we got. I'm happy with like the lack of like romance. The only thing I'm not happy about is that Luke is still alive. I'll have to see if I can figure out a way where he dies, but nobody else does.
Came too late, and every time I said no, I wanted to say yes. They say speak your mind, tell the truth, but there is room for each regret. So many fears to overcome, so little time to conquer them. I lied to the Lord, I lied to myself, I lied to you and everyone I care.
These translators need to get fucking shot.
More lies to tell, cowardice is easier than being brave, but at last I found the
Oh boy, here come the backers.
to sing my love letter to you. 'Cause people can lie, but my lone heart beats true.
It doesn't seem like they're in an order. Maybe it's like the order that they backed or like the amount.
Remembers who I am, and in the prison of my heart, I was my only slave. But in the depths of my cold soul, I'll leave the burden and despair. I'll fight for what's worth fighting for. Forget the fear, forget the rest.
Free sound, sound snap, sound bible, freesoundeffects.com, sound effects factory at YouTube, open sands.
I lied to the
I don't know
Lord,
what else
I
I'm
lied to myself, I
I
lied
hope
to
you
you
enjoyed
and
it. It's been fun. Oh
everyone
god,
I
I'm gonna have to just read it in my head.
until there were no more lies to tell. Cowardice is easier than being brave, but at last I found the
These credits are going by too fast. Like, I know I'm like drunk, but Jesus.
letter to you. 'Cause people can lie, but my lone heart beats true.
No, Luke and Isabella, no bye. Oh my god. They must have paid to have those in there.
Theo? Where are you, Theo? Theo? Please? She's here! She's still here, Theo!
If you're reading this, that means you finished playing the game in one way or another, and we thank you for your time you spent playing the letter. The game is our passion project more than anything, and we sincerely hope we delivered in bringing you a one-of-a-kind visual novel experience. The letter is the first of many visual novels coming from us. If you like, yeah, basically, Keldeo. If you like what we did with this game and would like to support us, please take some time to click on the button below to find out more. Thank you so much for everything. Let's talk soon. I'm just gonna hit support so that they don't fucking try to kill me. Okay. Okay. I'm glad I turned the light on, because I don't... Was that like an Easter egg, or is that the way of the game saying that I got a, like, I got a good ending for everyone, but I didn't, like, actually fix the curse? I only got 15% of the epilogue, 50% of CGs, makes sense. Item sprites, backgrounds, okay. Wow, only 66 fucking percent in chapter 3. How cute. Win a QTE without skipping. Oh, it doesn't tell you what the fucking achievements are? He couldn't play good. Well, tell me what the fucking achievements are. Fuck you. Fuck you. Oh snap. There's another one. For the first time in a long while, there's contentment. I wish they actually told you what the achievements were. No. Back. Nope. I changed my mind. Jesus. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I changed my mind. Shift plus. Get out of here. Fucking Steam menu. How do I get out of this? Shift tab. Music. No, fuck. Shift tab. Jesus fucking criminy. Okay, let's load this one really fast. I just want to look at the branch thing. Oh my god. What? Common route. Oh, that's so cool. It's kind of like, Detroit. Jesus. What I don't like about this is, like, unlike, Detroit, it doesn't actually explain what you did here, so, like, this doesn't really help. So, despite there being a branching path, at the end of it, I guess you end up in the same place. Except for this one bad ending here. I don't know. How the fuck, how far does this go? Wait a minute. Burn the mansion. I did. Oh, I haven't actually done that yet. What the fuck? How is there all this extra stuff? Burn the mansion is the last choice that I got. Oh my god, this is really obnoxious. How much clicking? Like, can't I just scroll? No, can I just use the keys? Really? This is awful. I have to click and drag it like it's some kind of fucking... Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. I'm just gonna get bored and I'm gonna stop doing it at some point. How is there this much left to his route? I'm so confused. How? Oh my god, it just keeps going. Is it the same thing over and over again? I think it is. Why does it just loop? Okay, that's fucking obnoxious. I don't like this. I just don't like it. That's, I'm glad I never opened that before because it would have just pissed me off because it doesn't actually make any sense how that works. Okay, well, I have to wake my mom up so that she can go to work and I gotta shower. So, let's go ahead and, quit. That was the letter. I enjoyed my experience with it. I'll write a review on it eventually and then do a video on it at some point, but I gotta say that, I mean, you don't really find out what happened. Like, you just burn down the mansion. We don't really know who the ghost girl was. We don't really know why she was obsessed with Luke. I mean, I get it, like, oh, play the game multiple times, figure out different stuff, but like, I went out of my way to be nice to everybody, and I feel like I should have gotten more answers than I did for being nice to everybody and getting a good ending where everybody lives and is mostly happy. So, I don't know, I don't know if I'm gonna stream tonight, but the next time I do stream, I'm definitely gonna fuck around with bad endings specifically, but also I'm gonna try and speedrun a route where I'm just an asshole to everybody, and I want to see what kind of ending we end up getting. I still have a decent amount of vodka left though, so that's kind of a bummer. Whatever. Good stream tonight. Technical difficulties, but hey, at the end of the day, I had a good time. So, we don't have enough viewers on Twitch to rate anybody, which is kind of sad. And what are we looking like on Theta? Oh, no viewers on Theta. That's fine. I'll see you guys when I see you.